Greetings, parents, students, teachers, and all of those friends and family stuck at home right now. I'm Mr. Ilia Rashad Muhammad, and I'm a public educator. I teach English and language arts and literature and related courses in public schools. I'm also an author and historical researcher who's been fortunate to publish books that have been lauded by scholars worldwide. So with that being said, I think this is an opportunity to share a simple yet effective learning tool that I developed to help us keep our students engaged in reading activities while at home. I call this our IQRA reading response strategy, and it can be used in the classroom, at home, and for practically all reading levels. Now that term IQRA comes from an ancient Arabic word which literally means to read or recite. However, I've used that word as an acronym and a strategy that can be used to engage virtually any type of text. So here's how it works. Once you have a text, whether it's a book, article, poem, narrative, or whatever, choose a designated section of that text. It could be a paragraph, a page, short chapter, or stanza. Once this portion of the text is assigned, we'll apply the IQRA reading response strategy. Now, as students reading the section, ask yourself, what seems most important in this section? See, that's what the I in IQRA is for. What seems most important? Even if the text is extremely complex and you don't fully understand it, just jot down what you think is most important or intriguing. That's why this is a no excuse strategy, because everyone can at least give your thoughts on what you think seems important, right? But that's just a start. Now we get to the Q in IQRA. This is to form questions about the text. Even if you don't seem to understand the assigned text after reading it, just jot down questions about what you don't understand or what you'd like clarity on. These could be simple questions about the meaning of words and phrases, or it could be deeper questions like, what drove the author to write something the way he or she did? Or, what themes are associated with this text and how could this relate to real life? These are questions that the reader or the student develops about the text as he or she reads. Again, everybody can ask relevant questions about what you read, especially if you don't understand it. That's why we ask questions, right? Next, we get to the R in IQRA. The R refers to reporting your responses to the class or group. This involves the speaking and listening component to the text, because now the students share what they wrote down with the class or group or teacher. Students verbally share thoughts about what seemed most important or intriguing and pose questions about the reading. As parents and teachers, we facilitate these discussions and allow students the opportunity to explain why they thought something stood out as important and allow them to pose questions about the text. Some questions may be answerable based on the text, and some might not even be as relevant. But the point is to have students engaging the text. Some questions could lead to other relevant discussion questions or possibly be researched at a later time if necessary, or dealt with immediately depending on how relevant the question is. You as the parent, teacher, or facilitator can make that call. Lastly, the A in our IQRA strategy is to answer text-dependent questions. These are questions based on the text that the parent, teacher, or facilitator already prepares before the student begins reading. These text-dependent questions, or TDQs as we call them, should be responded to in written form. This is where the writing component of the lesson takes place again. Now, we have a litany of useful writing response strategies such as ACE and analytical summaries that we'll get into at another time. The text-dependent questions can be simple and general, such as the who, what, when, where, or how kind of questions. Or, what is the central idea of this portion of the text? Better yet, I often pull from a list of relevant questions that can be applied to different types of text. I may modify a few words to make it more applicable to the reading assignment at hand, and you can do the same. Depending on your time, you can assign one or more TDQs, but be sure to read the students' written responses to check for their understanding. And these responses could be used to engage in further discussion and analysis. So, in short, this is our IQRA reading response strategy that can be used for all reading levels with all types of text. And it provides a general but practical way of engaging different texts by involving close reading, writing, speaking, and listening components, whether in the classroom or at home. I hope you'll find this useful. Again, I'm Mr. Muhammad, and this is our English lesson for today. Stay safe and stay connected with us. And leave your comments and questions.